Here in the United States, we now have a deadly bacterial illness that we need to be worried about. Now, this is something that has been going on for some time. However, it's getting far worse much quicker. Today, I want to break down what's going on, where this is coming from, and who should be concerned. And just to warn you, if you shop at Walmart, Target, Costco, Kroger, even 7-Eleven, well, you should be concerned. I'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So yes, it is true. People that shop at Costco, Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's, even Kroger and 7-Eleven should be concerned because of this. There's a nearly 10 million pound of chicken products that were recalled due to Listeria risk. Now, that was the first warning, 10 million pounds. But just the other day, we learned this. The Listeria recall expands to nearly 12 million pounds of meat and is even hitting U.S. schools. You know who is most at risk of getting Listeria? Well, it's children, it is pregnant people, it is the elderly, and those with a weakened immune system. Those are the ones that have the worst time. Now, what happens if you get Listeria? Well, here's what we know. First off, it could be mild or severe. If it's a mild symptom, you will likely have a fever, you will have muscle aches, nausea, most likely vomiting, and even diarrhea. If it's a severe case, you will likely have all those same symptoms, but you will have a headache, you'll have a stiff neck, you will likely have confusion, loss of balance, even convulsions. Now, according to reports, they say that if you are elderly, you are pregnant, you have a weakened immune system, there's a high likelihood that you will end up in the hospital, and you can even die because of it. Now, here's something that we do know. I want to show you this. It says right here, symptoms typically start 1 to 4 weeks after eating food contaminated with Listeria. A mild case of listeriosis may not require treatment, but a doctor may prescribe antibiotics for more serious cases. Most people can recover at home by resting and drinking lots of fluids. Listeriosis can be fatal for the very young, the elderly, and people with compromised immune systems. Almost 1 in 6 non-pregnant people with invasive listeriosis die. Obviously, that's troubling. Now, I want to get to some of the facts here. I want to read some of these things right here, okay? Because this is just coming out. It says, a recall for meat producer Blue Pack has grown to nearly 12 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat and poultry items due to possible Listeria contamination. After the company, which is based in Durant, Oklahoma, recalled over 9 million pounds of products just last week. Again, this is an ongoing issue. Now, why is this an ongoing issue? Well, here's what we know. According to experts, they say the reason why we are seeing a lot of recalls of products is because in certain industries and in certain positions, companies have let people go. They've laid people off in order to save money or remain profitable. Well, here's the issue. If you lay people off, but yet that person is needed to perform a task and certain job, well, if you give that task to another person who has another task that they have to perform, now their eyes are on 2 different things, potentially 2 very important tasks. Well, guess what? When you are juggling too many balls at once, one of them is eventually going to fall. That's why experts say we are seeing this rise of recalls, because we don't have as many people in quality control. We just don't. And that's one of the reasons why all these issues are kind of, slipping through, because there's nobody there to catch them. But this is also why we're starting to see these reports come in. They're coming in a little bit late because somebody finally does catch them after somebody gets sick or there's a potential report. Now, I want to keep reading this to you. It says right here, the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food and Safety Inspection Services issued an announcement on October 15th, sharing new details about an expansion of the earlier October 9th Bruce Pack recall to include additional products and production dates, adding that some of the items were sent to U.S. schools. Remember who is the most at risk? Okay, younger people, younger children, right? The elderly, those with weakened immune systems, and people those are pregnant. Well, if you send the potentially contaminated products to the place where you find those people, the younger children, that's concerning. That is a huge, huge issue. Now, it goes on to say, details of this release were updated to note the additional 1.7 million pounds of products subject to recall, increasing the weight from 9.9 million pounds to 11.7 million pounds, the announcement read. It says this recall release has also been updated to reflect the recalled products were also distributed to schools. A school distribution list is not available at this time. That's troubling. But again, here's what you need to know. Most of you guys are probably not in school, but it says recall impacts hundreds of products such as prepared salads, burritos, and other foods sold at stores including Costco, Trader Joe's, Target, Walmart, Kroger, and I do know they're selling them at 7-Eleven as well. Now, where do we go from here? Well, here's the problem. Experts believe this is only going to continue. Number one, we don't have the quality control standards that we once did. They say that a lot of the standards that we once had, they have been updated and changed. And the reason why they were updated and changed was because of what happened during the pandemic. We had a supply shortage. And the supply shortage went to furniture and cars and electronics and also food. Well, in regards to food, we had to let a little bit more food go through, even though it could potentially be contaminated with whatever it may be. Because if we were to recall all that food and we were to trash it, there would be a massive shortage on the shelves and the American people would have been impacted. So essentially, what happened is by changing policies, we are now allowing a little bit more contaminants in our food. But the good news is food prices aren't going up as much as they could have if we would have recalled all those products and threw it all away. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that makes sense that, okay, we're going to let contaminated food go through so that we don't have a food shortage, or should we get rid of the contaminated food, have a small food shortage, and prices go up just a little bit? Let me know your thoughts. What do you think would be the correct course of action? Because we know what was chosen. So I will leave you with that, but as of today, that is what we know. There is a deadly bacterial illness that is potentially going around, but you may not actually get it until 1 to 4 weeks after consuming contaminated food. So I will leave you with that. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.